Okay, we'll select the ear. Press S, point, 8. Then enter. That made that 80% of what it was. We'll go to view global / local. Go to the upper left, go to edit mode. We'll left click on nothingness to deselect. Press L to select there. Press X. Then choose faces to delete. We'll go back to view global / local. Go to the upper left. Go to object mode. If you're like, he's moving fast, it's ears. It's not even like shaped ears. We have a lot to do. Trying to explain all the different things. I've got to go at a certain speed. Anyway, or I want to go at a certain speed so I can actually keep this moving along. So we're going to go to add modifier, mirror object, empty. Then we'll left click to deselect. Okay, we're going to select on our main head scoped. We're going to go to scope mode, zoom in. We're going to go to the crease brush. I'm going to hold control. To put to sharpen this up here. Excellent. I'm going to zoom in, hold them the mouse button, rotate the view, move the view with the hand. I'm going to go to the blob brush, press F, hold control. I'm just left clicking again as well as again. I'm going to go to the green triangle, select voxel remesh. Excellent. I'm going to go to the crease brush, hold control. I'm right here, putting like a crease line right here. Rolling back to take a look. I'm going to zoom in, not holding control. I'm going to hold control now to sharpen this edge here. That. Not holding control. Holding control to sharpen the edge here. Zooming back, take a look. Okay, I want to bring out the cheeks. So see this line right here? I'm going to go right past this line. I'm going to go to the inflate brush. I'm going to press F to make the brush bigger. I'll make this smaller. So right past that line, I'm adding volume, if you will. I'm going to hold shift to smooth this out. I'm holding the middle mouse button to take a look. Okay, what I'm going to do now is go to the elastic deform brush. I'll pull this down some, like that. Go to the inflate brush. Zoom in, press F to shrink that. Adding some fullness to the lips. Back to the elastic deform. Press F to pull that forward some there. I just brought in try to make this come more to a point here. Also with the elastic deform brush. Okay, we want to add the eyelids. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to object mode, select the eyelids. We're going to go to the modifier panel. We'll select apply. We're going to add another modifier, which is the solidify modifier. Okay, the reason why I added a solidify modifier wasn't for anything visual. We're going to need to remesh the eyes. For some reason, when I try to remesh the eyes, when they're made like I showed you how to make them, there's an issue. When I add the solidify modifier, then apply it, I don't tend to have that issue. I'm going to take the solidify modifier to 0.4. I'm then going to apply that. And now with that done, I'm going to go to the green arrow voxel. I'm going to change this to 0.01, then press enter. I'm then going to select voxel remesh. Okay, that went fine. I'll right click, select shade smooth. It's shade smooth doesn't change anything. I'm going to hold shift, select the head, let go of shift, then I'm going to hold control, then press J. Okay, what we're going to do is, right now the eyelids are one piece with the head, however they're not joined together. So with this same setting of 0.01, we're going to select voxel remesh again. That went well. That actually brought down our polygon count, which is good, or specifically our triangle count, which if you look beneath my mouse, you can see we're at 346,146 triangles. Okay, we're going to go to the upper left, go to scope mode. Let's zoom in, use the hand to move the view. I'm going to press F to shrink my brush. I'm going to hold shift to smooth here. Like that. I want to smooth this out some. For that, I'm going to go to the scrape brush. I press F to make this bigger. I'm just flattening that out. Just like that. See this little piece right there. So now I'm going to go to the elastic deform, press F, bring this out to the side, bring this forward some, bring this back some, down, but I don't want this going back too far. I'm going to press F to shrink my brush. I'm going to bring this forward more like that. Select the hand to the upper right to pan the view. Okay, I'm holding the mouse button to rotate the view. I'm going to hold shift to smooth this line right here. So I'm holding the mouse button, rotate, holding shift to smooth some of this some. Holding shift here to smooth some of this some. Still holding shift, which is letting me use the smooth brush. Letting go of shift. zoom in, go to the blob brush, brush that F to fill, not F to fill, F to shrink the brush, hold control here. Pan the view. There's three pieces that make up the lip, like three very visible pieces. So one is this bump that you see here. There's another like kind of line that comes here. For the bottom lip, there's like two pieces here. So what I'm doing there is emphasizing that bump. I go to the inflate brush. Make the bottom lip fuller. However, we need to pull the bottom lip back. I actually want to make this fuller as well. So we'll hold control, hold shift to draw a mask. And we'll go to the elastic deform. I like the elastic deform because it allows you to move things without. I didn't select the elastic deform. Elastic deform allows you to move things without seeming to mess them up. I'm going to hold control, press I. I'm going to see, I don't, this right here, I'm going to hold Alt, press M to take away the mask. I'm going to use remesh again. However, we don't want to use this because we don't want to take away the work. So what we're going to do is select here. We're going to select 0.008, press enter. We're at 346,146 triangles. So we're going to select this. It took us up to 519,654. I'm going to hold the mouse button and rotate. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to hold control, hold shift. Oh, I didn't do it. Hold control, hold shift. Now, there we go. All right, so I'm protecting this with a mask. Elastic deform. I'm trying to like basically like move this up as well as increase the volume some at the same time. That's my thought process here. That looks well there. I'm holding shift to smooth that out. Trying to remember, I don't want to have the mouth be totally shut. Do not want that. So I'll hold control, press I. I'll hold Alt, press M. Pull this side slightly. Hold Shift. Zoom back to take a look. Looking, inflate here. try not to get too caught up with this. So we're going to go to the upper left, go to object mode. We're going to go to the modifier tab, add a smooth modifier. We're going to set the factor to 1. We'll set the repeat to 10. Let's try 15. Selecting the monitor just to take a look. Let's try 20. We go all the way up to 30. I'm going to apply that. Okay, we're going to go to the upper left, back to sculpt mode. We're going to go to the crease brush. We're going to press as well as hold Control to emphasize that line there. We're going to go to the blob brush. Shrink the brush, hold Control. We're going to go back to the crease brush to emphasize the line in the lip here. The same thing on the bottom here. Go to the blob brush, zoom in, hold Control. We're going to zoom in, move the view, go to the crease brush, hold Control, come around like this. Bottom eyelid. We go right from the corner here. The crease brush. We're also going to come right from here down like that. Oops. The crease brush. We'll press F. Hold Shift. Let's move that out. We're going to go to the scrape brush, press F to shrink this, zoom in right along this edge there. We'll hold Shift. Let's move this out some. We'll go back to object mode, zoom back, add smooth modifier. 1. We'll take this to 20. Apply that. Okay, we're going to zoom in. I'm going to hold Shift, right click to put the 3D cursor right here. I'm going to hold Shift, press A, bring in a plane. I'm going to go to edit mode, vertex select, vertex. It's mesh. Merge, that's what I wanted. We'll select merge at center. So we have that one vertex now. Okay, what we're going to do now is actually let's go up to the upper top to the top middle. Change this to medium point. We're going to turn on this snapping. We're going to click the arrow to the right of the magnet, which is the snapping I just mentioned. We're going to go to phase select. Very important. You need to have a check mark next to project onto self, as well as a check mark next to project individual elements. With that done, what we want to do is press G to make sure we can see our vertex. So this is the origin point. Don't be confused. This thing is the origin point. This is the actual vertex that we have. You're working with this, not the origin point. So yeah, the vertex, the origin point is there. So with that done, you don't want to have too much geometry around here. We're making eyelashes. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this closer to the eye. So if you look at the eye, we're going to try to make like probably here, 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 about 4 to get around to the side. So I'm going to hold control, then I'm going to right click, moving my mouse, right clicking, still holding control, right clicking, right clicking, right clicking at this center part here. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Let's zoom back. Left click to deselect. Okay, here we had this magnet on so that the geometry would snap to here. That's already done, so we'll select here to turn the magnet off. We're on vertex select to our upper left. We'll press A to select everything. We'll press E to extrude, right click. So we made new geometry, even though it doesn't look like we made that geometry. And the new geometry that we made, we'll press S to scale that geometry out like that. This quad right here, I want it to look kind of like a triangle, so I pulled that vertex in to make that look kind of triangular. Here, I'm going to go to edge select, select that edge, press E to extrude, right click, bring that out like that. Then I'm going to go to vertex select. I want this to look kind of like a triangle as well. So I'm forming that like that. I'll left click to deselect. Okay, to see this part right here, with this selected, we can go here, viewport display, in front, there we go. So now we can see this. So for here, we'll actually turn snapping back on for this. So what we have selected is only what will snap. So I'm going to bring this to a point here. I'm going to go to this back some here. Just want that to have more prominence. I'll left click to deselect there. Okay, we're going to go to the upper middle part of the screen, turn off the magnet for snapping. We're then going to go to the upper left. We're going to go to object mode. With this selected, we're going to go to the modifier tab, select the solidify modifier, drag to the left slightly. I'm going to go back to edit mode. We'll select here. It's up. As well as back some. Okay, with the modifier tab here, we'll select this as well. We'll select here. We'll select the subdivision surface modifier. We'll select here so it looks like it's applied. Now we can see better what we're working with here. So we're gonna left click to deselect. We'll go back to the upper left, go back to object mode. Okay, here object mode, we'll right click, we'll select shade smooth. Taking a look at it. Let's see if I can press S to scale to get that to shrink. Something like that. I'll go to edit mode. I'll turn back on the... I'll press C for paint select. So I want this to still snap. Left click on nothingness to deselect. Go to the upper left. Go to object mode. Okay, I'm going to go to the mirror modifier, add that. That's on the bottom of the stack. Things work from top to bottom. So these arrows, I can move the modifier. So I'm moving this up. I want this to be on top to have the most influence so I can correctly put this right on the other side. So with the mirror modifier, I'm going to select mirror object and then select empty. So now we have that on the other side. Okay, I'm going to hover here. I'm going to wait a second. Shift right click, there we go. So to put the 3D cursor there, I'm going to hold shift, press A, go to plane, go to the upper left, go to edit mode, go to mesh, merge, at center. So now I have this vertex here. I'll press G, move the vertex so I can see it. I'll hold control, I'll right click, right click, right click, right click. With that selected, I'll press A to select everything, E to extrude, right click, move this up like that, left click to deselect, go to the upper left to go to object mode. I'll turn off the snapping. With this selected first, I'm going to hold shift and then select this second. With things selected in that order, I'm about to take the modifiers from here to put them on this. So I'll hold control, press L, and then I'll select modifier. So all those modifiers have transferred. I'll right click, then select shade smooth. Then left click on nothingness to deselect. Took me twice to do it, but I did it. When I said twice, I meant left clicking to deselect. I'm going to turn to the side, select the face, go to the upper left. I am going to go to scope mode, go to the elastic deform brush, press F. I'm going to change the shape of the face. I'm actually going to select here, move up some, make this bigger. Okay, Okay, so I got the face change that I wanted. However, I'm going to have to go back to object mode, select here, then move this up, then left click to deselect. There we go, left click to deselect. Okay, I'm going to select the face, go to add modifier, smooth, factor of 1, press enter, repeat, 30, then I'm going to apply. Okay, as far as the eyebrows as well as the eyelashes, if you're wondering like, okay, what should you do? Should you apply them to the face or join them to the face? I would recommend that you leave them separate so that as I make this, I'm thinking of this for animation, so there would be the retopologized mesh. However, these eyelashes as well as the eyebrows could be used on that. So by having them separate, you could just easily move these over to the retopologized mesh. Okay, we're going to do some work on the ear. I'm going to zoom in, select the ear, pull this out slightly. I'm going to right click, select shade smooth, go to the remesh modifier. I'm going to set this to 0.05 and then press enter to lock that in. I'll go to voxel remesh. I'm going to go to the upper left, go to scope mode, come out of scope mode. We'll hold control, press A. This brings up our apply menu, select rotation as well as scale. We'll go to the upper left, go to scope mode. When you work on the ear, you want to think of the ear as a question mark, a Y, and a bump. I'm going to press F to shrink the brush down. So I want to go to the blob brush, and what I'm doing is putting a depression in the ear. So this depression, as I'm calling it, is kind of like your, this would be your question mark here. So the question mark would be like, this would be the front. If you can imagine a question mark kind of coming like that. It's a general shape of the question mark. I'm going to go here, change this to 0.01, press enter, then select voxel remesh. Okay, I think it's done. So we'll go to the draw brush, shrinking the mouse. So the Y is kind of like right here. This is like the top of the Y, and it kind of like runs down and goes to the side. So I am drawing this Y now. And it runs down here. So hopefully you can kind of see like that is kind of like a Y. It actually kind of tucks up under here. So here would be the bump. So I'll hold control to go in. So actually there's a hole here, and then the bump is kind of right here. Go back to draw. I'm going to do voxel remesh. Okay, we'll go out of here. We will add the smooth modifier. Set the factor to 1. Let's try 20. And let's try 25. going to apply that. I'm going to apply the mirror modifier. It's funny, I normally would have taken off the mirror modifier because a lot of times modifiers don't tend to work well in sculpt mode. Forgot the mirror modifier or didn't notice it was on there, so that actually worked out well. I'm going to left click to deselect. Okay, I'm going to select the ear, hold shift, select the head. I'm going to hold control, press J. I'm then going to select voxel remesh. This is still set for 0.008, which is what we want. Select voxel remesh. So now the ears are joined to the head. I'm going to select these eyelashes. Take off this in front, then left click to deselect. The in front I just took off allowed you to see the vertices as we were working to work with the eyelashes. So I don't want to be able to see the eyelashes through the head. That's why I took that on in front off. Okay, we're going to zoom back. I'm actually going to select the eyes, the eyelashes, as well as the eyebrows. I'm going to push them forward. As far as the eyeballs, I'll select apply. The origin point is right here, so I'm going to go to object, set origin to geometry. I'll select the eyelashes. I'll select, I can do apply all, or I can just select apply. I'll do the same thing, object, set origin to geometry. Reason why I'm doing this, see this, how this dot is right here in the center? It's because I did that origin to geometry. So when I click here, see how the dot's to the side? You want that dot to be in the center. That's your origin point, right? So that's why I'm doing this set origin point. So I'm going to apply these modifiers here. And then you'll see that the dot's here to the side. I want to move that to the middle. So I'll go to object, set origin to geometry. Now that's in the center. It makes things easier for us. So I'll left click to deselect. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Alt, press H. That brought back the body. I know that the head is too small for the body. I know from preparing for this tutorial that the head as well as these things need to be scaled to 1.4. So I'll press C. Trying to paint select. So yeah, the neck is good. So now with these selected, I'll press S to scale 1.4. Then I'll press enter to lock that in. So the head is back some, so I'll push this forward some like that. So I'll bring this back here like this. Wait a second. Okay, that didn't scale up. Let's see. S1.4. There we go. So we'll select here. Hold shift. We should be able to pull these right back into place. Excellent. Looks like they need to go down slightly. Held the middle mouse button to rotate the view. I'll left click to deselect. Okay, I'm taking a look. think it looks good. Left clicking to deselect. Okay, one thing I want to do is these arms are a little close as far as setting this later on for rigging. So I'm going to select here, go to scope mode. We scroll down, look towards the bottom, we can see this box mask. With this box mask, box hide, that's what I want. We can left click as well as drag to hide things. We can Alt H to bring them back. So actually what I want is for the box the box hide is I actually want the body that is here to be hidden, as well as this to be hidden. The reason why I wanted that hidden is I want to make the arms go out wider. So for that I can use the pose brush. So I'll press F. You can see the pose brush there. It's when I say there, it's like right where I'm here. I want to move from there, so I left click and drag. You can see that my arms went out. That's what I wanted them to do. So now what I can do is hold Alt, press H, try to bring back that geometry. You see how that's like off right there, right? I'll show you how to deal with that. As a matter of fact, let's see, I'll scroll up. Go to the crease brush, right? Press F. Take the hand to change the view. So I'm using that crease brush to put a crease here. Head back, it's still pretty good. Changing the shape of this some here, like that. So I like this side. So what I can do is I can go up to here. See the symmetry? The minus X is this side, the plus X is this side. When I select this arrow, this is direction X minus. That means the left side would go to the right. Like, so it means if I wanted what was on the left to go to the right, I would select symmetricize after this. I don't want that. I want the plus X to plus X to go to the other side. So with that done, this is what I'm talking about. I'll select this. So now that side is fixed. Okay, what I want to do now is go back to that box hide. I want to hide this arm. I'm going to go to the elastic, the form brush, press F. So I wanted to change the pose for this somewhat. Maybe too big. Bring this forward more like this. Back some. Like that. So now I'll hold Alt H to bring that back. I can zoom in here. Go to the flatten brush. Press F. Flatten that in some like that. Hold shift. Flatten that some like that. Like it's coming out. It's like, okay, I'm not sure why it would do that, but scrape brush. It's also good for this type of job. Hold shift. Brush here. Actually inflate this some. Let's move that out. We'll go here, select symmetricize, zoom back. Okay, we'll go to the upper left, go to object mode, select our hands, go to front mode, move the hand over. The side, ignore the other side for now. So we'll go here, go to edit mode, select here, press X, choose faces to delete, go back to object mode, select here, go to the upper left, go to edit mode, left click to deselect, hover here, press X to bring up our delete menu. We'll choose vertices to delete. Go to object mode. We'll select here. We'll add a mirror modifier. Select the empty. Select here. Add a mirror modifier. We'll select the empty. Then we'll left click to deselect. Okay, let's give her some hair. So I'm going to move my mouse up above her head to the left. I'm going to hold shift, press B, draw a zoom box to zoom in, zoom back, select her head, go to the upper left, then go to sculpt mode. Here in sculpt mode, I'm going to go to lower right, select right. I'm going to zoom back some just by rolling the mouse, or I did zoom back some by rolling the mouse. I'm going to hold control, hold shift, left click. I'm drawing a mask to make the base of her hair. So I'm just coming down towards the ear, going back some, a general, fairly general, layout of hair, just to be a base mesh. Most likely we won't see much of this. So we're going to go to mask, extract. This extract as solid. We're going to take away that check mark, then select OK. So now we have the mask as its own object there. We're going to go to add modifier. We're going to select displace. We're going to take this down to what you see there. Then we're going to left click to deselect. Okay, in making hair, there's numerous ways I've made hair for a while. Still learning. What I'm going to do is show you my current method that I like. I think it works well. It's fairly quick. We're going to hold shift, press A. Instead of mesh, which we've pretty much done, I think we've done all of the times we've opened add to by pressing Shift A. We're going to go to curve. We're going to add a curve circle. We're going to drag this curved circle over to the right. Okay, what we're going to do now is hold Shift, press A. This brings up our add to menu. We're going to curve again. We're going to go to path. We have this path in here. We're going to move this path up, which is a curve. We're going to move this towards the front center of the head. We're going to press S to scale it down some. So I'm rotating so you can kind of see. Let me select here so you can see there's where the curve is at. I'm going to hold them in the mouse button to rotate the view. Okay, when it comes to making hair, there's all kinds of different ways of making hair. You'll often hear people mention that. What I don't think people mention too often is what the hair is used for. There's different types of 3D work. Some 3D work seems to be like you are just trying to make a picture, right? There's another type of 3D work. Maybe you're making 3D just to do like a 3D print. There's another type of 3D work where you want to animate that character. This is very important when it comes to hair. Typically, if you're going to make a character to animate, you're going to want that hair not to be too dense because you're going to want to not have too heavy of a load on the computer. You're going to want to have the hair be a lower polygon rate. And I think that's a very important thing that I don't hear people mention too much when they start talking about hair. It's important because it determines how you're going to make that hair. Anyway, with that being said, typically when I make a character, right now this character is sculpted. This character is a high level of polygons. However, my intent for the character, as I've said before, is pretty much most of the characters I make. My intent is to eventually animate that character, or at least have the ability to animate the character in the future if I would choose to do that. Okay, with all that being said, we have this path selected. We'll go to the upper left. We'll go to edit mode. Even though this is a curve, you still have object mode as well as edit mode. We select this point here. We'll go to the move tool. We want to push this point so it's going down actually into the head. We'll move this point up because we want that like bend, I think is important to show the hair going down. We'll select here. Push this down. You can kind of see hopefully how the hair, how it works, how these points affect the bend of the hair. In the past, I had issues with making longer hair. Here, you just select the point, you press E to extrude, right click, and you just make that hair longer. So we'll push that down even further. So this way is pretty effective. Because you're using the curves, you tend to have nice, this is too high. You tend to have nice curves with the hair. Okay, so I tried to deselect, but I'm inside of edit mode. Anyway, I was trying to get rid of this orange. Anyway, I'm going to go to object mode. So we have that, right? So you're like, okay, well, what are we going to do with that? Well, what we're going to do with that is, because this is a curve, we have other options that are normally not available to us when we do meshes or work with meshes inside of Blender. We're going to select this curve option here. What you want to do is look to where you see this geometry here. Select that arrow. Then you'll see this bevel object. Enter this object. So we see this object. We'll take the ink dropper. We'll select here. Now you can see that right there. So this gives us volume to our hair. Now that we can see the hair, what we can do is go to edit mode. We'll select this point. We'll make that point go further into the hair. Okay, so we can shape the hair further. We'll go back to object mode. I'm going to hold them in the mouse button, rotate. I'm going to select this circle right here, go to edit mode. So what we can do here is when we select these points to move them, this adjust here. So I'm selecting this point. So you see that there? Depending on how we move this, affects how the hair looks. There we go. So I'll go back in. Whoops, not in object mode. So this is its own separate object that controls this separate curve object. We'll select here. We'll go to the upper left. We'll go to edit mode. Here in edit mode, see this right here? I don't want that. I want this to be, come to a point like hair. So what I can do is hold Alt, then press S, and then you can see, look at that, nice. Hold Alt, press S. So now that comes to a point there. Okay, what we're going to do is let's left click to deselect. Let's go to the upper left, go to object mode. We want to put an origin point right here so we can duplicate this hair, rotate it around halfway around the head. That should make things easier for us. So what we're going to do is hold shift and then right click. That lets us, let go of shift, that lets us move the 3D cursor, right? With this selected, we're going to go to the upper left, go to object mode, set origin, and we're going to choose origin to 3D cursor. So now this dot is showing us the origin of this hair is now this. That's a good thing because now we'll be able to easily rotate hair that we duplicate. I'm going to hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. I'm going to go to edit mode for this hair. I'm going to push forward. I do not like how this is turning like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back to object mode. I'm going to select that object there. It's left to right as far as width. I'm going to go to edit mode. With this selected, I'm going to press A to select everything. I'm going to press R to rotate on the Z-axis 90, then press enter to lock that in. Left click to deselect. Back to the upper left. So we still have our hair rotate, however, it's not as dramatic. So I'm going to left click to deselect. Then go back to object mode. Okay, with this selected, I'll hold shift, press D, right click, press R to rotate on the Z axis like this. I'll hold shift, press D, right click, press R to rotate on the Z axis like that. I'll left click to deselect. I'll select here. I'll go to the upper left, go to edit mode. Push that out there. Push this out here. So I'm just trying to have these not intersect. I'll go to object mode. I'll select here. Go to edit mode. It's one of the advantages of using curves. They're relatively easy to manipulate. You pretty much are clicking, seeing how they turn. You can hold control, press T to rotate, which that's good knowledge to know about. I don't want to use the Alt S particularly because I like the basic size. So here, I think I'm going to do is go out of here, press R to rotate on the Z axis like this. Go back in. There we go. Go back to object mode. I'll select here. Go to edit mode. Left click to deselect. Go to the upper left, go to object mode. I'll left click to deselect. Okay, my concern is mainly for the one side because we can mirror these to the other side. We do have some up there. We'll deal with that. So we'll select here, hold shift. So we'll hold shift, press D, right click. We'll press S to scale here. So you can see these pushing in there. Now we'll press S to scale on the Z axis to make those longer. Then we'll left click to deselect. Okay, what we'll do here is we'll select here. We'll go to the modifier tab, select the mirror modifier. We'll select mirror object, mirror object. We'll select empty, so with the empty selected, what we can do now is select everything but there. So I'm holding shift, selecting all of these pieces here. I'll select this piece last, let go of shift, hold control, press L. This brings up our make links menu. We'll select modifiers. So now we have that hair duplicated to the other side. I'll left click to deselect. Okay, we'll rotate towards the front. We'll select here, hold shift, press D, right click. We'll press S to scale these up. Press R to rotate on the Z axis like this. So we'll go to edit mode. Try to adjust this accordingly. Control T. Go to object mode, select here, edit mode, left click to deselect, back to here. Back to here. I'm going to press S to scale on the Y axis. Left click to deselect. Okay, what we're going to do now is hold the mouse button to rotate towards the back. We're going to select this piece right here. Because this is a curve, we can't apply the mirror modifier, so we're going to take the mirror modifier off of there. We're going to hold shift, press D, right click to duplicate this, press R to rotate on the Z axis like this, press S to scale on the Y axis like that. Just holding the middle mouse button to rotate. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the upper left. We're going to go to edit mode. I'm going to select the hand to move the view, roll the mouse to zoom in. I'm going to select here being a point. Try to pull that point out. Take this point, push it down. Control T. There we go. I'll go to the upper left, go back to object mode, then left click to deselect. Okay, I'm going to hold the mouse button to rotate the view. I'm going to select here, go to edit mode, Select here. Move that over like that. Select here. Move this over like that. I'll select here. I'll move this up like that. I'll left click to deselect. Go back to the upper left and go back to object mode. Then left click to deselect. Okay, what I'm going to do now is select here. I'm going to hold shift, press D, right click. Go to the upper left, go to the move tool. Push this forward. I'm going to press S to scale this down like that. Okay, too forward. Too much forward. We get an edit mode. Select here. Push this down. Pull that back. So I'm just bringing this front part to like the front of that line right there. I'm going to left click to deselect, then go to the upper left, then go to object mode. Then I'm going to left click to deselect. Okay, I want this hair in the front to be shorter, so I selected that. I'm going to hold shift and I press S to scale on the Z axis like this. I think I'll press S to scale on the X axis like that. I'm going to select these pieces of hair here as well as here, holding the middle mouse button, rotate. It's a good view to scale. We'll press S to scale on the Z axis like that. Want the hair to be pretty long. Okay, at this point you might be saying that hair is pretty straight. To that I would say it's not done yet. Not done yet. So I'm looking here. I don't want that intersection, so I'm going to press S. Try to press S to scale on the Y axis. So we'll go to edit mode. Hold Control, press T. Left click to deselect. I'll go to the upper left and go to object mode. So I was just holding the middle mouse button to take a look. So it's here, the edit mode. We'll try to hold Control T to Control T. There we go. Left click to deselect. I'll go to the upper left, go to object mode. Left click to deselect. Okay, I'm going to hold the mouse button to take a look. Okay, we do have this right here. Let's see if we can select these pieces. Oh, I selected the one, holding shift now. Let's see, is it possible to just push down? Excellent. For now, I'm just trying to adjust the hair. As I'm adjusting it, my thoughts are don't spend too much time here. Hold Control, press T. There's still More to be done. Let me go to object mode, select here. Push that forward slightly. I'm going to left click to deselect. Okay, we're going to select the face. We're going to select a bunch of objects, then hide them. So H to hide, eyelashes H to hide. We're selecting the eyeballs H to hide, eyebrows H to hide, the empty H to hide, the neck H to hide, the hair base H to hide. Now we're going to press C. I've rolled my mouse. C is paint select. I rolled the mouse to make this bigger, the paint select. It's C to activate paint select. I'm going to select that, right click, hold shift, select here. I'm doing this. I let go of shift. So this is the active object. To join objects together, these are all curves. So yes, you can join curved objects together. We need an active object to join these objects to. So with that done, I'm going to hold control, press J. All right, so these objects are joined together now, right? So now what we want to do is, well, let's actually hold Alt, press H to bring back our other geometry. We'll left click to deselect. We'll re-click on the hair. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to object. We're going to go to convert to mesh from curve. So now this is a mesh object. All right, so with this being a mesh object, now what we're going to do is go to scope mode. Here in scope mode, we're going to turn off the symmetry mode. Okay, we turn the curves to mesh objects for multiple reasons. Hair is done, like I said before, different ways by different people. I'm more comfortable with mesh work than curve work. Because it's a mesh, we can work with this as one sculpt here now. We also are, in my mind, moved a step closer to actually having the hair be animatable. My general thoughts right now are style the hair some more, and then set it up, not to set it up, you know, for some time in the future, not necessarily shown in this video, how to set this up for a normal map in the future so this is animatable, right? So remember I told you about the straight hair, right? Well, what we can do is go to the elastic deform. Okay, see how the hair is going into the back. We'll press F. Then we just elastic deform very nicely. Move that out of the back. I find that clicking over and over again tends to work better than just grabbing. So remember where the mouse is like jumping. We talked, you know, I was telling you about the side hair, so we can now pull the hair to the side. We'll pull this hair to the side like that. It's very easy to do here in scope mode. Then what we can do that's really nice is we can go to this inflate. So we can fairly easily increase the volume of the hair. The more time you put in, the better results you'll get. The spots that are on the sculpt page, you know, on the head space, there, pay special attention to. You can see, like in here, it's just fairly easy, I should say, to adjust the hair. Spend more time, you'll get even better results. Also, don't think that you can't add in more hair. So I'm just pulling this out to the side. So you can shrink the brush. So as far as like the bend of hair, you can go here, push there, grab that up to put, give the hair more life. Very easy to adjust this hair so the curves give you the general shape. So then now you have it in here, you can adjust it, come back to it. It's fairly quick. I'm just taking a look at it now. I'm gonna hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Okay, we're on elastic deform, so that hair. Out of the back there. Okay, I'm going to go to the upper left. I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to select the main body, go back to the upper left, go to scope mode. I'm going to go to the upper right to turn back on symmetry. I'm going to go to scrape. I'm going to press F, make my brush smaller, holding the middle mouse button to rotate. So I'm scraping here. I want to make this line less prominent. So I'm holding shift now to smooth this out. Zooming back to take a look. Holding shift. Letting go of shift, taking a look. Okay, let's make some clothes for her. So to do this, the easiest way is to use our masking tool. So I'm going to hold control, hold shift, left click, draw a lasso, select. When you want to take away a line, like I have this here, right? What you can do is hold control, press I. So then you basically like increase the line here to go up. So I can press I think I can press B for box select. Yes. Okay, so now we have what I want. So I'm going to hold control, press I. So we want to make a shirt. So with that selected, we'll go to mask, mask extract. I turned off this extract as solid because when I make a mask from extract, I'm tempted to add solidness to the object, right? I tend to overdo it. If you look at the clothes on your body, they're extremely thin. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying not to use solidify. I'm saying that this tends to throw me off. So I'm just letting you know why I turn that off instead of using that. So I'm going to select OK. So now this is its own object. We'll go, we're already in object mode. So then we'll go here. We'll use displace, and then we just take this, go down. I like the displace because it's more like close to me. It brings this out, but not too much like not like the solidify modifier. So I like how that is, so I'm going to select apply. Okay, with this selected, I'm going to press M to bring up our collections menu. I'm going to select add collection. I'm going to name this close. I'm going to select this box here, move my mouse away so that disappears, look to the outliner, scroll down, take away the eye next to close. I'm going to select the main body, go to the upper left, go back into scope mode. Here in scope mode, we can see that we still have the mask on. That's good because we want to use that. I'm going to hold Control, hold Shift. Now I'm left clicking to select. I'm going to go down to about the elbow area. I have that now. I want to take away this. I'm not going to use box select or the other select because they tend to, they're good. The lasso select that I just used, because this will select the front as well as the back. I want to just select the front. So to do that, roll the mouse. I wanted to roll this down. I'm going to go to mask. So now when I'm going to take this strength all the way up to 1. So now I'm going to hold Control. So now I can take this and I'm just selecting front. Careful here. I'm going to hold Control as well as the middle mouse button. I'm holding Control to take this away. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to go to... Yep, good. Alright, so I just check the back. I'm going to go to Mask. Mask Extract. Take away the extract as solid, select OK. We're here in object mode now. We'll add, we're already on the wrench, which is our modifier panel. We'll select here. We'll go to displace. We'll take this down to 0.1. We'll apply that. We'll press M. And then we'll move this to close so it disappears. It being the jacket that we just made. Okay, we're going to select our main mesh, go to the upper left, go back to scope mode. We're going to hold Alt, press M to take away the mask, zoom back. View up, we'll go to the side. I'm moving the arms out of the way. I'm going to hold Control, hold Shift, left click to select here. I'm now going to go to front view, hold Control, left click, select there. I'm going to hold Control, left click to select there. Good. We're going to go to Mask, Mask Extract, take away Extract Solid, select OK. We're on a wrench. We're going to go to Displace, take this down to 0.1, select Apply, press M, put this, go to this box, select here, which moves that to our close. That's hidden, so our close disappear there. Select our main body, go back to scope mode, and then we're going to hold Alt, then press M to take away that mask. I'm going to go back to the upper left to go back to object mode now. Then left click to deselect. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go back to that close collection, bring this back. Blender 2.83 is amazing in numerous ways. One of the amazing things about it is the fact that it is so easy to make close. So if I press Q, select wireframe, that's our close, right? It's too much. It's not just for geometry, but to work on, right? So we go to the remesh. So what we're going to do is we're going to select quad remesh. We're going to select 10,000. We're going to select OK. Okay, so now if I press Q, we have much better geometry. Still a decent amount. I found that it tends to be better for me to take steps down in geometry. So in other words, I'll do like the pants 10,000, then 4,000, and then, you know, so forth. So now I'm going to go back to quad, the quad remesh. Now I'm going to take this to 4,000 and select OK. Press Q. So now we have even less geometry. However, that topology is pretty good. I'm going to press Q for close. It's pretty good. Okay, let's see if we can go down to 1,000, which should be very workable. So quad reflow. 1,000. So this is now very workable geometry. Okay, when I say workable geometry, what I mean is you can animate with this. You can easily model this. The reason why I go 10,000, down is the actual topology I've seen change. So in other words, to give you an example, the one time I went to just 1,000, right? From what we saw down to 1,000, the topology was like very curved, right? So then I tried different things, and then I noticed that when I went to 10,000, the topology was fairly straight up and down. Then when I went down, it pretty much was the same thing. So I generally ended up with fairly decent topology from going down in steps. That's how it seemed to me. Just letting you know why I went down in steps instead of just going straight down. Okay, now with this done, we can select these pants, right click, select shade smooth. We can go back to the modifier, select displace modifier again. I've seen this happen. I'm not sure why this happens. The origin point is right in the center here. So yeah, I'm not sure what is up with that. So this side is actually more than this side. I'm not sure why this does that. It's useful. Anyway, there's multiple ways to fix this. I like using it. It's not absolutely necessary. For example, we can go here. Let's make things easier to see first of all. So we're going to go to the upper left. We're on solid view. We're going to select this arrow. We'll select random. So now we can see our pants. So what we can do is press A. We're in the edit mode for pants. Let's get our mouse a decent, give us distance, ability to scale. Sometimes it's worth thinking about like how you're going to move your mouse. Anyway, I'm going to hold Alt, press S. So Alt S is what I'm doing, which is a special type of scale. I'm going to hold Shift. What happened? Okay. Alt. It's like Alt S. There we go. So I'm holding Shift. Okay. I'm not. I right clicked. Right click kind of redoes everything. Let me hold Alt, press S. Now hold Shift. There we go. So with this, we have a fine selection. So left click. So I scaled up just slightly. Now we also could have pressed S.1, something like that would have been another way to scale that up. Okay, so we're going to go to our upper left. We're going to go to object mode. We're going to select what I would say is her jacket. We're going to select remesh. Go to quad remesh. We're going to select 10,000. We're going to press enter. There we go. We're going to go right back. We're going to select 4,000. We're going to go right back. We're going to change this to 1,000. Excellent. There's some issue in the back there. We'll right click, select shade smooth. Okay, with this, we're actually going to do, we have that issue in the back. Sometimes it's just doing there's multiple ways you can do things. Sometimes, a lot of times I'll pick what's the most efficient way. For me, I'm going to go to view global / local, right? We can see this. So I'm going to go to edit mode. Here in edit mode, what I'm going to do is I am going to select this cube here, go to phase select, press B for box select, select half of this like that. I'm going to press X to bring up our delete menu, choose faces to delete, go back to object mode, go to the modifier, add a mirror, make sure that clipping is turned on. I'm going to use clipping to deal with this issue that I'm having here. So I'm going to, let's turn this on. I'll hold Alt. Go to edge select first. Hold Alt. Okay, I'll select here. Hold Control instead of Alt. Hold Control here. I'm still holding Control. What I use, I'm let go of Control. This is something called the shortest path technique. That's what I used here to do that. I'm going to turn this off so we can see things easier. So now I'll go to the move tool. I'll push these faces towards each other. I'll press C for box select, select here to deselect. Then I'll push these faces towards each other. So now they should be, there we go. They should be locked in. If you're like, what did you do? How'd you do that? It's this clipping that makes one side of the object not pull away from the other side. So I'm knowing that, taking advantage of that. I press C for paint select. It's extra geometry. I'm going to press X, bring up our delete menu, then choose faces to delete. There's a little geometry here is a little strange. Gotta edge select. I'm just pushing this out to see what's there. Okay, so we'll go, let's go to view global / local, turn this back on, go back to object mode. Zoom in, select the hand. We're going to do like we did before. Go to edit mode. We're going to select everything. We're going to hold Alt, press S. This time we're going to press 1.1. Okay. Didn't work. Alt S. It'll be 0.1. Yeah, 0.1. Okay, so Alt S 0.1. Then we can do, if we want more, we can do it again. Alt S 0.1. Do not like that, so I'll right click. It actually does not look bad how it is. This here, we can go here, go to scope mode, go to inflate. Or we'll go to edit mode. Oh, I thought there was. Okay, so there's not. So the reason why I'm moving this here, you really don't want to do this. I'm doing this because I'm basically thinking I'll most likely go to the mirror modifier to fix these, looks like issues here. I'll hold Alt. Trying to select here. Of course, the most awkward thing to select is not acting right. Anyway, what I'm going to do to deal with this is I'm going to go to front. Very similar to what we did before. Face select, B for box select, go slightly more than halfway. Zoom in, press B for box select. B for box select. Turn this off. Select the hand to pan. I'll press the middle mouse button here. Okay. So I want to have all of this selected. I'm pressing C for paint select. Hold the middle mouse button, rotate. So I'm going to press X to bring up our delete menu. Choose faces to delete. Go to object mode. Go to the right of the screen. Go to the mirror modifier. Turn on clipping. Zoom in. Go to edit mode. I'll select this here. So here what we can do, because we have that mirror modifier, is we actually can press C for paint select. Select this geometry. Try to push it, deselect it. So if we try to pull it apart now, it shouldn't pull apart. Same thing here. Push it together. Let's go to view global / local. So that's together. See up here. Kind of have this strangeness here. Let's press X to bring up our delete menu, delete that. You should be able to push these towards each other here. We have this strange geometry here. Holding Shift, press X to bring up our delete menu to get rid of that. I'll select view global / local. Zoom back. You can see the topology is not perfect. Global / local. Go to face select. Delete that there. Go here, hold shift, press D, right click, push this down, select here just to move the manipulator. I'll select here, hold shift, select here. I'm filling in the faces is what I'm doing here. I'll press F to fill. I wanted 4 faces. This is in the way, so I'll select there. This just to move the manipulator, hold shift, select here. I want another face here, so I'll hold control, press R, there. By putting that loop cut in, that gives me this, here we are, gives me this face here. Then I can select here. So I'm basically, if you're like, why is he doing all that? You're better off having typically, not always, but basically 4 faces rather than 3. So there we go. So I'll select view global / local. Go to the upper left, go to object mode. Now left click to deselect. There we go. There we go. So you can adjust this. Okay, what we're going to do now is zoom in. Select here, go to the upper left, go to scope mode. We're going to inflate to try to deal with this. We have a mirror modifier on here, so one of the sides is virtual. So if you're trying to get a side to be affected, sometimes it's because you're on the virtual side rather than the real side. I'm trying to inflate this to not have the one mesh coming through the other mesh. It's not that high of geometry, so it takes more work. Here I'm going to hold shift just to smooth that out. So I'm looking here. Okay, what we're going to do now is go to the upper left, go to object mode, I'm going to select here, go to the upper left and go to scope mode. Okay, I'm going to select the hand, then pan down. This looks like there's a lot of geometry here. I'm going to press, I'm going to go to the upper left, go to wireframe. If you want to make this be if you want to be able to get to this quickly, you can right click, and then you can go to right here. This says remove from quick favorites. I have this, I already set this to add to quick favorites. This is pretty useful to do. Anyway, with this this wire, or you can just go here, not be concerned about that. If it's like, you're like, what's going on? You can just go here. This is probably the easiest way to go about doing it. Anyway, we can see this is a lot of geometry. That's more geometry than we need for this. And I'm talking about specifically this shirt right here. As a matter of fact, if I select view global / local, here's the shirt, just so you know like what's going on. I'm going to select view global / local again. I'm going to go to the remesh, go to quad, quadraflow remesh. I'm going to change this to 1000. Press enter, then select OK. So now we have new geometry. If I go back to overlays, turn back on the wireframe, you can see this is a lot less geometry. I'm going to turn that wireframe off. I'm going to go to object mode, right click here, select shade smooth, go back to sculpt mode. So even though I lowered the geometry down, when I go to view global / local, you can see that our basic shape is still there. So this is fine for what we need. I'm going to go back to the lower right, view global / local. Okay, I'm going to go to elastic deform. I'm going to pull the shirt down. So I'm pulling the shirt down, not thinking so much about it going over here yet. Once I have it down to the level that I want it to be, now I'll hold the middle mouse button, turn to the side, then I'll pull that shirt back. Once we have it back to about this level here, what we can do is we're probably better off going to inflate. Inflating here. For this part right here, I'm going to press F to shrink my brush, hold control. And then I'm going to use inflate to inflate in the opposite direction. I'm holding control. Alright. So I'm doing the opposite of inflate right now. To get the shirt underneath these pants is why I'm doing this. It's easier to do this, I think, anyway, than to have used the elastic to form to keep going. So while we have them, I'm not holding control now. I'm holding control. So basically, when it's coming through another piece of mesh, I'm holding control. I'm holding control again, so I'm doing the opposite of inflating, deflating. The same here. Now I'm left clicking to drag my mouse. Let go of control. I'm holding control again. I'm going to press F, make my mouse bigger. There we go. Pressing F to shrink my mouse, and now I'm left clicking to drag. I'll go to the blob brush. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. Well, we'll leave things as they are for right now. I just held them in the mouse button to take a look. Okay, I'm going to go to the upper left, go to object mode. I'm going to select the main jacket. I'm going to go back to the upper left, select edit mode. I'm going to make some adjustments in here. Okay, so we have a mirror modifier, which is good. So what I'm going to do is go to the face, select the upper left. I'm going to hold Alt, left click to select right on the edge. Because I was holding Alt, I was able to select this entire loop of faces. And hold Shift as well as Alt to select here. With that selected, I'm going to press E to extrude, and then right click. I'll press S to scale. Basically trying to make things look like the jacket's rolled up. I'm going to left click to deselect. Holding the middle mouse button to take a look. I actually want this jacket to be shorter than what it is now, so I'm going to hold Alt, left click to select this whole loop here. Press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose faces to delete. I'm going to hover here, press L, then press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose faces to delete. Just hold the middle mouse button to take a look. Okay, what I'm going to do now is go to View Global / Local, hold the middle mouse button to rotate, zoom in. I'm going to fix this collar area, so to do that I'm going to select here, hold Shift, still holding Shift. Now I'm going to press X to bring up our delete menu, choose faces to delete. Go to the upper left to vertex select. Go to the upper left to the move tool. What I'm going to do here is see there's a vertex here. I want one here. I'm going to want another one here, another one here, another one here, another one here to make four vertexes to make a face. The way I can do that is I can select this vertex here, hold Control. I didn't do anything yet, but when I right click, I'm going to extrude a vertex right to where my mouse is at. Didn't do it yet. So now I am about to press the right mouse button, right? So here we go. Right click. I let go of Control. Holding Control let me extrude. So there you can see right there, right? All right, so I'm just going to keep doing this down this line, trying to make 4 vertices. Sorry, there you go. Vertex is singular. Vertices is more than one. So I'm going to hold control, right click, right? Because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. If I look here, 1, 2, I need one here, right? That would be 4. So I'm holding control, right click, holding control, right click, holding control, right click. Because I want 4 vertices. When you're working in 3D, typically you want to have, generally you're better off having faces, right? So here's what's really nice about Blender. So, well, we have a mirror modifier on here, right? We have 2 vertices right next to each other. This clipping, when I push, which I didn't do yet, when I push this vertice towards this one, they'll join because of that clipping. See? So what I can do now is I can go to edge select this edge. Blender knows that there's 4 vertices here. So I select this edge, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press F. Then when I press F, this should go, you know, pop, 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 and fill all this geometry in. So we'll press F. And there you go. I'm going to hold Alt, then press A to deselect. I'm going to roll the mouse wheel back, hold the middle mouse button to rotate. You can see this is sticking up here. We'll go to vertex select from the upper left. We'll select here. Push this down like that. I'll left click to deselect. Okay, I want to make a collar, the kind of collar you see on jackets. So what I can do is I can go to edge select, right? I have this edge here selected. So imagine the collar like coming here, going back around. Probably should go, I'm actually thinking here. So I can use something called the shortest path technique. I have this selected, I hold control. Then when I left click, Blender selected all of the edges in between what I currently had selected. I'm going to press E to extrude, right click. With this edge selected, I want to pull straight up, right? I'm going to press E to extrude, right click again. I'm going to press S to scale this out, like that. I'm going to press E to extrude, right click. I'm going to push this down, like that. Okay, I'm going to left click to deselect. I'm going to go to the side to go to view global / local. I'm going to see how Blender's jumping. I'll hold control as well as the middle mouse button to have more control. I'm going to hold Alt, left click. I'm going to press S to scale. Put that out to the side, so I'm more like that. I'll go to vertex select this vertex here, press O to turn on proportional editing, and I'll press G. Proportional editing is this thing right here. The proportional editing tool, which is activated by pressing O, is a shortcut, allows you to maneuver more than one edge to see or face at a time. So I'm going to go to the upper middle, select connected only. Connected only lets you work with grabbing the area that's connected to your vertex while dodging other mesh that's around there. So I'll press G. So when I turned on connected proportional, before connected proportional, like the connected part here, this part was starting to move. When I turned that on, now this part is, you know, largely unaffected, which is what I want. So here I'm kind of taking the point off of this, bringing this back. I'm going to hold Alt. So even though I had vertex select, I was able to grab a edge of faces there. Okay, I'm going to press G, then Z. So I moved this down. I saw this start intersecting with the jacket there, so now I moved it back up. So we'll leave it like this for now. Okay, I'm going to roll the mouse wheel back. I'm going to go to the upper left, go to object mode. I'm going to go to the upper right, go to the hand to change the view. I'm holding the middle mouse button to rotate. I left click to deselect. We're going to go open up a new version of Blender. We're going to make some irises for her. So I'm going to go down to Blender. There we go. Right click. And then when I right click on Blender, see this Blender here. When I left click here, new version of Blender opens up. So I'm going to left click. So this is just a blank version of Blender. If I left click and drag, you can see there's the other version of Blender is still open there. What we're going to do with this cube selected is we're going to press X to bring it to delete menu, then delete the cube. Okay, what we're going to do now is hold shift, press A. This brings up our add to menu. We're in mesh. We want mesh, specifically mesh circle. Now that we brought this mesh circle in, look towards your lower left. You'll see this menu here. Select the triangle. Where you see vertices, change this to 100. Where you see fill type nothing, select the arrow, select triangle fan. As soon as you click on anything other than in here, this is going to disappear. So I left clicked, so now that disappeared. Okay, I'm going to zoom the mouse in. Hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Okay, I want to show you how to do this iris. I think it's neat that we can make an eye iris right here in Blender. We have a bunch of work to do still. We're getting towards the end of the tutorial. However, we still have textures to put on. So be prepared. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. Select the mesh, go to the upper left, go to edit mode. You're going to right click. You're going to select subdivide. Once you do this, to the left, you're going to see a subdivide menu pop up. If it's like a little box, just click the arrow. You'll see these settings pop up. Take these settings up to 3. Look for fractal. Change this to 0.8. Then press enter. Then you can, as soon as you click, you're going to lose this menu. So I clicked. So we're going to go to the upper left, go to object mode. Okay, with our mesh selected, we're going to go to the wrench, go to add modifier. We're going to add a subdivision surface modifier. We're going to take this viewport up to 4. Okay, what we're going to do now is go to the upper left, go to view, not object, area. We're going to toggle quad view. We came here so we can easily see mainly this view as well as this view. We're going to go to the upper left. We're going to go to edit mode. We're going to roll the mouse to zoom in. Go to the upper left, select face select. Press C for paint select. Select this area here. Right click, go to the upper left, go to the move tool. We're going to push this area down to about there. We're going to press S to scale on the Z-axis 0. I'll press enter to lock that in. Now I'm going to right click. I'm going to select subdivide. We'll see this subdivide menu pop up. If it's just like a small block, you should be able to click the triangle to see what you can see here. We'll take the number of cuts up to 2. Then with that done, I'll zoom in by rolling the mouse. Then I'll take this area closer to the top like that. I'll left click to deselect. I'll go to the upper left, go to object mode, go to view, area. toggle quad view, then I'll left click to deselect. Okay, we need a picture. So the way we're going to get that is, and we want this as a picture. We're going to go to view. We're going to go to align view, align active camera to view. We're going to go to this button here towards the upper right, or middle right of the screen, I guess I would say. We're going to go to resolution X. We're going to change this to 1000. The Y, we're going to change this to 1000. This is very near the bottom of the screen, so we're going to select this edge here, which this is selecting the camera in a sense by selecting the square. We're going to select this camera icon towards the right, and this Y here. What we're going to do is left click and then drag to the left. Too much. There we go, like that. We're going to go to to here, the second button in the menu towards the right. We're going to go down to film. We're going to select transparent. We're then going to go to this overlay menu, select that so we don't see any overlay there. We're going to go to render. These are the normal settings to render and have all of Blender's render options pretty much activate. We're going to view render, which is going to render just what we see on the screen. However, it's going to render with a transparent background. So we'll select view render. What am I thinking of? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm telling you the wrong thing. So that's not correct. It's view and then down to viewport render image. Okay, so that's what we want. So there it is right there. So now from this we can go to image, save as. So you just want to go to where your file is at. So I'm going to just name this we'll name it just I. Save as image. Now we can shut this. Okay, I'm going to select the X button. You can see here's our other version of Blender right here. Okay, what you're looking at is the folder that has the file that we just made. So I'm going to left click, right click. I'm going to go to open with GIMP. Okay, here we are in GIMP. GIMP is an open source image manipulation program. This is the main image manipulation program that I use. I have access to a lot of programs. There's many reasons why I use GIMP. You can download GIMP for free. You can put it on a thumb drive. GIMP is good stuff. We're going to look to the right. GIMP is very similar to Photoshop. It works by a layer system. We're going to select this layer here, right click, and then select duplicate layer. This layer is the picture that we brought in from Blender. I'm going to select this eye to hide the bottom layer. This is just to go back, to layer if we mess up. If you hold Control, you can roll your mouse to zoom in and out in GIMP. We're going to look to the left, select the fuzzy brush, select nothingness. Then we're going to hold Control, press I to invert the selection. So now we're selecting everything other than nothingness. We're going to go to the lower right, select to make a new layer. We're going to just click OK. This gives us a transparent layer. We're going to go to these two boxes here. This is where we can pick our colors. I'm going to pick the color of the kind of eye color that I want. I'm going to select OK. I'm going to hold Control, comma, to fill that eye color. I'm going to hold Control Shift A to take away the selection. Still have work to do. That's why I'm going kind of fast. In YouTube, there should be controls to slow down this video or speed it. So if it's too fast for you, you can slow it down using the controls in YouTube. If it's too, as long as you're now watching this on YouTube, if it's too slow, you can speed it up. Anyway, with this layer here, this is a separate layer. The layers work from top to down. This layer here is set for normal. We want to select here and then choose soft light. That just makes the layer blend on top of that layer. I'll select to make a new layer. So we have a blank layer. I'm going to select this to the left, this arrow. I'm going to go to the paintbrush. And here with the paintbrush, I am just painting this color here to help shade the inside part of the eye. I'm going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian filter. I'll take this. I can drag and slide to see, how I like how this looks. That looks decent to me. I'm going to make a new blank layer. I'm going to press the D key that makes these two colors turn black as well as white. I'll select here. What I want to do is go back to the brush. I'm going to draw a circle layer. Then I'm going to draw another circle layer. This white color. I'm going to make another layer. Select OK. Select this arrow here. Here on this layer with the black color, I'm just clicking again to make this fairly dark here, right in the center. I'm going to go back to this layer here. Change this. Oops, not that. Change this to overlay. I'll also go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. So you can drag this. This is very nice. I'm just noticing you can do this now and again. You can look at the blur, see just what you're doing. That's excellent. So far, I like how the eye looks. So I'm going to select OK. I'm going to go to layer, new from visible. That combined all of these layers together, right? I'm going to duplicate that. So I have the backup of that, right? I'm going to go to colors, curves. This curves thing is amazing. Curves tends to make almost everything look better. So it seems to me. Typically, when you go to curves, you make an S pattern. You take one dot up, another dot down. You don't have to do this, so you kind of like adjust that. Curves is a interesting tool. I want to make this part here too dark. How you move the dots around affects how things look. I'm going to select OK. If I want more color, maybe I'll select this. Go to duplicate. I guess not maybe since I'm doing it. Then I can actually take this, put a curves on this. I'll take one dot. Just make that darker. I like how that looks. Okay, we're gonna let's see. So right now I'm hiding these think I'm going to lower the... Yeah, I like that better. So I hid the duplicates that we made. I lowered the opacity down of this layer. Now I'm going to go back to layer, new from visible. I have yet another visible layer that made things darker, which I actually like. Let's do it again. Layer, new from visible. We're not going to get... Okay, we'll use this. Okay, so we'll go to File, Export As. I don't want to go over the work that we did, so I'm going to put one behind here, then select Export. I'll then select Export again. Okay. Okay, here we are, Steel and GIMP. You want to make a new layer. We're going to select OK. We're going to go to the middle left, select white, hold Control, press the comma key to fill this layer with white. We'll drag this down with that white in the background. We'll go File, Export As. We'll just go right over that one. Okay. Okay, here we are back in Blender. We're going to zoom in. Go to the hand to pen view. We'll select an eye. We'll go to edit mode. We'll zoom in. We'll go to the hand to pen. Then we'll go to the upper left to UV editing. We'll zoom in. We'll press the N key. We have to press this 3D nav view again to set up this again because we went to this UV editing tab. So we're going to select view global / local. We're going to select the point on this eye, press L, press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose faces. We deleted that eye because we can easily get it back from mirroring. That makes it so we just have to work on this eye. So we're going to go to edge select. We'll hold Alt, select there. We'll now hold Control, press E. This brings up our edge menu. We'll then select Mark Seam. I'll then hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. I'm going to select here, hold Control, then select here. I'm letting go of Control, holding Control again, left clicking, letting go of Control, holding the middle mouse button to rotate, holding Control again, left clicking, holding the middle mouse button. I let go of Control, now I'm holding it again. What I'm doing here is I'm using something called the shortest path technique. That's by holding the Control button. I'm going to hold Control, press E. This brings up our edge menu. I'm going to select Mark Seam. Then I'm going to left click to deselect. I'm going to press A to select everything. I'm going to go to the upper part of our screen, select face, select, press U, and then select Unwrap. So we have our unwrapped eye right here. We want the section to go there. So we'll hover here, we'll press L, press G to temporarily move this out of the way. That circles our proportional editing tool. I don't want that on, so I'll press O to turn that off. I'm going to go to Open Eye Texture. We have the eye texture here. I'll open that up, zoom back. I'll select here, press L, press S to scale that up. Or on the mouse wheel to zoom back. Press G to move this. I'm going to left click here, go to View Global / Local, zoom back some here. I'm going to press A to select everything again. I'm going to go to Shading. Here in shading, I'm going to go to the material to the right. Select new. This is a new material. The material starts off with a principled shader as well as a material output. What we want to do is select add texture, image texture. I'm rolling the mouse wheel to zoom in. I'm going to select here. Here's the eye texture we made. I'm going to select this. I'm going to put this into base color. I'll zoom in here. Hold the middle mouse button to rotate the view. Okay, when you look here, you can see there's the blue part here. Here's blue here as well. What you want to do is go to where you see this repeat. You want to select this. Looks like an arrow here. Select extend, and then that will give you just the graphic that you see here with just white. We'll select here. I have an add-on called Node Wrangler. It's extremely good add-on. It's in the default version of Blender. If you go to Edit, Preferences, look on Add-ons, look through that list, put a check mark next to the Node Wrangler. It's not something that you download separate from Blender. It's inside of Blender, just so we're clear. Even though it's called an add-on, it's inside of Blender. All right, turn that on. And the reason why I'm telling you to turn that on is with this node selected, I can hold Control T. And then because I have the Node Wrangler set up, these other nodes get added. The Node Wrangler does a lot of other things besides this as well. Okay, one of the things that the Node Wrangler will let you do, I'm holding the middle mouse button to move this. I'm hovering here, right? We want to move all of these numbers at the same time. I'm hovering here. See how there's like a double arrow there? I'm going to left click. So I have my finger down holding on the mouse, right? Now, while my finger's down holding the mouse, I move my mouse. Daggone it. Here we go. There we go. All right. I was trying to explain it thoroughly and I messed it up. So basically, when I left click right here, I just moved just this number. I want to move all these numbers at the same time. So I left click and drag down. My finger is down on the mouse. So now if I go one direction, I will go bigger. If I go the other direction, I can make the eye go smaller. So I like that there at 1.400. I'm letting go of the left mouse button. Now, so that explanation, I was just trying to get you to be able to move these numbers at the same time. Anyway, with that, we can see the eye is set up now. By the way, if you want to manipulate this eye, it's important where the origin point is at. You don't have to have this eye rigged to manipulate it. However, you do want to have the origin point on the eye. We originally had a second eyeball. So what we're going to do is set the origin point to be for this eye. We're going to go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry, right? So now I can't see the dot, but this should be, the origin should be on this eye. With that done, if you want to adjust the eye, right? You go straight up to the middle of the screen, select this individual origins, right? And then with the eye selected, what I can do is press R twice. And then this allows me to manipulate that eye, which is excellent. I'm going to left click to deselect. I'm going to go back to, not there. I'm going to go back to the layout shader here, right? I'll turn on this viewing node with the eye selected there. Press R twice. There we go. So with this selected, I'm going to go to the add modifier. I'm going to select mirror, and then I'm going to select mirror object, empty. So now we have both of our eyes back again. So I'll left click to deselect. Okay, we're going to go back to the middle of the screen. We're going to select shading again. We're going to select the eye, or the eyes, because there's a mirror. We're going to take this specular just about all the way up. We're going to take this roughness just about all the way down. What that does is give us like kind of like this glassy, eye-like look. I'm going to left click to deselect. Okay, we're going to put some textures on our character. Let's select these eyelashes, select new. When we did that, we have this principled shader. We can go to the principled shader. We can adjust this later on. We'll just make this black for now. Let's adjust the skin, or select the skin, I should say. Add a material to it. So the way I do skin, we're going to do add texture, Veranoid texture. Learned how important the Veranoid texture was from Kent Jamel for CG Cookie. Veranoid texture node is spectacular. We're going to go to add converter, color ramp. Most of the time, the color ramp allows you to adjust things in a decent way. We're going to go to add vector bump. We'll put that here. Okay, with that set up, we're going to select the base color. We'll go down almost like an orangish, pinkish orange light color, like that. We're going to go to add color, mix RGB right here. We'll zoom in so you can hopefully see this. So I'm going to go from the Veranoid texture, from color to the fact. So the color to the fact, from the color of the Veranoid to the fact of the color ramp, with the color of the Veranoid texture going to the fact of the color ramp. We're going from the color of the color ramp to the height of the bump map. I'm going to hold them in the mouse button to move these nodes up. We're going from the normal of the bump into the normal of the principled shader. That gives us this look right here. For the scale, we want to take this up to about 380. Let's try that. You can see this. This gives us roughness to the skin. We go to the strength. We change this to 0.1. Press enter. And then that gives us a non-smooth like look to our skin. Okay, that non-smooth look helps. However, we need color because skin isn't all the same color. So basically what we want to do is go from this color to color 2 here. You know, let's go add converter, color ramp. I could have duplicated this. I just chose to do it that way. Color to fact, the color to the color 2. We'll make this like a kind of like a reddish, like brown color. We'll move this over. See this? This is, I like this. Like I'm going to left click, right? Drag, and then move this color to here. So now we have the color from there just by dragging it over. So now we're going to put this in here. So now you can see we have like this different color right here, right? So with this factor, you can either increase that or decrease that. We also can affect the skin color with this. We're going to go to the subsurface. This basically makes skin have, it makes light basically go into skin. So it's like one of the things with flesh is that light actually goes into it. So we can use these different settings together to adjust the differentiation in skin. So hopefully you can see that. So I like how that is. Okay, we're going to go to the upper left. We're going to go to layout mode. We're going to zoom back. We're going to select the arm, holding the middle mouse button to rotate. Holding shift, I'm selecting the neck. I'm selecting the face last. The order is important. I'm letting go of shift. I'm doing this because I want to take the material that's on the face and apply that to the other pieces of her that you can see that show skin. So I'm going to hold control, press L. This brings up our make links menu. I'm going to select materials, And you can see that was, this material was added to the next was the arm. I'm going to left click to deselect. Okay, what we're going to do now is go to the hand to the upper left. We're going to select this jacket here. We're going to add a solidify modifier. The thickness, we're going to click this arrow one time to take that up. So it's 0.02. We're also going to add a subdivision surface modifier. That added more geometry. Now these modifiers, what's nice about them is you can take these modifiers off. They're good for, what we're going for here is currently right now is look. I'm going to select the pants. The pants already have a mirror modifier on here. Holding shift, I'm going to select the jacket. I'm going to hold control, press L. This brings up our make links menu. Then I left click on modifiers. And now this just gained all of the modifiers of the jacket. I'll left click to deselect. Okay, I'm going to select the shirt. I'm going to add solidify modifier. We're actually going to take this thickness the opposite direction. So we're going to the left. And we're taking this to negative 0.04. We did this because if we went the other direction, there would be like artifacts happening here. It still has thickness. It's just going in the opposite direction. So we're now going to add a subdivision surface modifier. So I'll left click to deselect. Generally, when it comes to making things, I prefer to make them myself. Like we made the irises for here. That being said, when it comes to your models, a lot of how your models, the finished look, a lot of it's going to depend on the textures. Now, you can make the textures yourself. You can use different programs to make them. You can set up nodes to do procedural textures. A lot of people, when it comes to textures for characters, they use a program called Substance Painter. Blender is continually to improve. However, the Substance Painter materials are very good and they look good on characters. The reason why I'm telling you all this is the plan is right now is for me to show you how to use downloaded textures from a site. So that's what I'm going to show you. Okay, this is the website I was talking about. This is CCO Textures. This is a website where the person who makes the textures supports himself by Patreon, as far as I understand, or supports the site by Patreon. My wife recommended this site to me. I saw her have very good results. So yeah, I was very impressed by what I saw. I was so impressed that I was trying to debate to see if I was going to, come here or make my own textures. I prefer to make my own. However, the results were so good that I saw my wife did. As here we are. So you might want to consider supporting him on Patreon. He lets you download the textures without that. However, when somebody does an excellent job, I think it is worth considering to support them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Browse Assets. I'm going to click here, type in fabric. I want a texture for the shirt. I'm going to select this. I'll select 2K textures for this. I'm going to go back. I'll select this for the jeans, 2K. I'll go back. I'll put in leather. I like this. I'll select 2K. Okay, so this is ccotextures.com. Okay, those textures went to my download folder. I moved them to a textures folder in my main project folder that I'm using for this video. I'm going to right click, select Whoops, I'm going to select first, left click, select extract all. And there we can see all of the textures. Do the same thing for the second one. And then the last one. Okay, we're going to select the leather jacket. I have this pivot point set to the individual origins. I saw this. I'm changing this back to medium point. I'm going to go to shading. I'm going to select new. I'm selected on the jacket. This is neat. This is from the Node Wrangler. All right, and this is why the Node Wrangler is worth setting up. I'm going to hold shift. I'm holding control. While holding control, I'm holding shift. Now I'm pressing T. That opened up this menu here, right? I go to textures. I want the leather texture, right? I select all of these textures here. I select printable texture setup. Oh, has to be just this. Okay. So hold control, hold shift, press T. Textures, leather. All of these are all set up, ready to go. All right, so when you look at this, it looks smooth, right? It's because this is unwrapped. So what we're going to do is right here in the shading tab. In the shading tab with this selected, we'll go to Edit. We're on Phase Select. We're going to press A to select everything. We're going to press U to bring up our UV mapping menu. We're going to select not that actually. We're going to press U. We want to select Smart UV Project. Then OK. We'll left click. Just like that. Look at that. It's pretty amazing. So we'll do the same thing for the shirt. We'll click on the shirt, select new, select the printable shader. With the printable shader selected, we'll hold control, hold shift, and then press T. So we were holding control as well as shift, and then we press T. We want not this. Is this the one? Not that. We want this one. So we select all this, select that. Same thing. See how this is smooth? It's because we need to go to the upper left. We go to edit mode. We'll press A to select everything. Press U. Select Smart UV Project. OK. And now we can see our shirt. What we can do with this is like big and strange looking. Well, I'll zoom in so you can see this. This is the mapping node. So I'm going to scale. I'm left clicking and dragging down. So I held my finger down. I pulled down as I selected those the scale. So now I'm moving up. Making that smaller. I'm going to try to rotate this some so you can adjust these here. Okay. So we have that material there. So we're going to select here, go to new. Wait a second. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I get it. At least I think I get it. All right, so here we go. So we'll zoom back, zoom in, select the printable shader. We'll hold control, hold shift, then press T. We'll go up, we go to 5. We select this. Printable texture setup. We zoom in, we go to the upper left, we go to edit. We press A to select everything. U. We select Smart UV Project. OK. We left click. We go to the upper left to object mode. So now we have that. We'll go to the mapping node. We'll zoom in here. And then what we'll do is over this scale, X, Y, as well as Z, left click, drag down. We'll move this up. Some. When we have this on here, we can also try going to generated to get a different look. That's not good. Let's try object. Okay, UV. Yeah, if you take the time and you do your UV unwrapping, that is definitely the way to go. However, I tend to do very long tutorials. This is nice for quickly getting the texture in. Okay, let's go to the upper left to layout. Zoom back. We have this. Select here. Go to the upper left. Go to scope mode. We'll go to inflate. That very quickly solved that. I'm thinking I'm going to let her hands be covered with leather like that's on her jacket. So I'm going to go to object mode. I'll select the hand. I'll roll the mouse wheel in. I'll hold control as well as the middle mouse to zoom in. I'm going to hold shift to select the ball. I'll select the jacket. I'll hold control, press L. This brings up our make links menu. I'm then going to select materials. So very similar to before, we need to select the gloves. Go to edit mode. Face select, we'll press A. Select U. Smart UV project. OK. Go back to object mode. We can do the same thing with this. The ball. A. U. Smart UV project. OK. Left click. Go back to object mode. Then left click to deselect. I'm going to zoom back. Okay, let's deal with this. So for here, what we're going to do is we're going to select here, hold shift, select here, the back part as well as this ball part. I'll let go of shift. We're going to hold control, then press J. Those are all one object now. The origin point is right here on this foot. We want it to be in the center to have things work right. So what we're going to do is go to object, set origin to geometry. It's in the center now. With that done, we're going to go to the green triangle, voxel. We're going to select the voxel remesh. This makes the actual pieces actually join together. When we did Control J, they weren't joined together. They were in one object, but still separate. Now they're actually one object together. Okay, with that done, we're going to go to quadriflow, remesh, select OK. That should have taken the geometry down a decent amount. Okay, we're going to go back to quadriflow, remesh. We're going to take this to 1000. Press enter, select OK. That took the geometry down even more. I'm going to right click, select shade smooth. Okay, what we're going to do with this select is we're going to hold shift, press D, right click, push that down like that. We're going to select here, go to scope mode. We're going to go to view global / local. We'll go to the elastic deform. Push in like this here. Push forward out like that there. So we're basically rounding off this heel some like that. We're pushing in here. Let's take a look from the top. Pull this out some. Pull that out to the side some. I switched to a solid view to get a better look at things. So I'm kind of rounding this out, pushing in here. I'll go to the crease brush. I'll hold control. Get a harder edge there. I'm going to go to the inflate brush. Oops. Inflate, there we go. Inflate this some. I'm going to hold shift. Smooth this down. Snake hook. I'll press F. Making this come up mainly to have this join with the rest of the body. I'll go back to the upper left, go back to object mode. Select view global / local. I'll left click to deselect. I'm going to select here, add a smooth modifier, change the factor to 1, press enter, bring that up. Not too much. I'll select, so this is a repeat of 2, I'll select apply. Okay, I'm going to check the geometry. I select this, press X to bring up the delete menu, delete that, select here, hold shift, press D, right click, bring this down, I'll select here, go here, go to voxel, select voxel remesh, right click, select shade smooth, checking the geometry. Okay, I want it more because I'm about to join it to the body. I'm going to hold shift, select here, hold control, press J. So now that is joined to the body. However, it's not one object with the body. For that, we need to go to remesh. We have this 0.04. We'll keep that. We'll select voxel remesh. Now this will be one piece with the body. Okay, we'll go back. So we're going to select here, move this up like this. I'm going to go to edit mode. Okay, I'm gonna hover here, press L, press X to bring up our delete menu, then choose faces to delete. Okay, I'm gonna hover here, press L, take the hand to the side, zoom in. I'm going to hold Alt, press S, move up to scale out. Scale back down some. Positioning this so this is over the foot. I'm going to hold the mouse button to rotate. I'll left click to deselect. Go to object mode, hold shift, press D, right click. I'll push this down like that. I'll select here, go back to edit mode, hold control to zoom in. I'm going to go to edge select. I'll hold Alt. Hold Alt, hold Shift. Not what I want. So I'll select here, hold Control, select there, let go of Control, hold Control, select here, hold Control, select there. Okay. Hold Control, select here, here. I'll press V, which rips this. I'll hover here, press L, face select, press X to bring up the delete menu. I'll select here, up edge select. I'll select here, hold Control, hold Shift. I'll press V, hover here. I'll go to face select. I'll hover here, press L, press X to bring up the delete menu, then choose faces to delete. Hold them in the mouse button to rotate. I'll go to the upper left, go to object mode, select here, go to scope mode. Here in scope mode, I'll go to right view. I'm going to press B for box select. Select that there. Go to mask, mask extract. I'll use the solid this time. I'll select here, press X to bring up the delete button, then select delete. I'll select here, move this up like that. I'll go to, I'll press S to scale in the Z axis like this. I'll go to Object, set origin point, origin to, or geometry to origin. Just has to scale this up some. Hold them in the mouse button, rotate. Okay, I'll select here. Go to the modifiers. I'll select a mirror modifier. That one didn't need the empty. I'll select here. Okay. Apply. I was like, what modifier is that? I'll click here. Select mirror. This one I will select the empty. I'll left click to deselect. I'll select here. Hold shift. Oops. Hold shift. I'll select the look dev view. I'll hold control, press L. Select materials. I'll select just this. Go to edit mode. Press A. Just select everything U. And then I'll select smart UV project. Then OK. Left click on nothingness to deselect. Go to the upper left. Then object mode. Then I'll left click to totally deselect. Just holding the middle mouse button, taking a look. Not quite sure why this is doing that. What we can do is press S to scale on the Z axis to flatten this out. Move that up, something like that. I'll go to the materials, select new, go to shading. I'll select here. That down some. Just roughen this up. I'll left click deselect. I'll go back to layout. Okay, I'm going to go to the upper right, select the hand to adjust the view. We're going to select our hair, go to shading. We're going to select new. We're going to select the hand to the upper right to adjust the view. We'll roll the mouse to zoom in. Adjust the hand. Her hair is not, obviously it's not realistic hair. We're not going to spend too much time on this. The base color, we're going to give her like blondish hair or yellowish hair, blonde. We're going to go to, we're actually going to turn up metallic some. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the eye, hold shift, left click on the hair, hold control, press L, and then select materials so that her eyes have the same color as her hair. As far as her skin, I want to give her some more color. So we have this set up right here. Because we have this subsurface on, a lot of this is not affecting the skin. So what we can do is go to this subsurface color, adjust this, and this will give us a lot of effect to the skin color. Let's zoom in. I'll hold control as well as the middle mouse button to zoom in. Okay. Okay, I'm going to left click on nothingness, deselect, go to the upper left to layout. Let's take a look at her. See this right here? She has a mirror modifier on her, so this is pretty easy to deal with. So we'll select the monitor here, right? Zoom in, we'll go to edit mode. We'll select here. We'll select here. Holding the mouse button, rotate. I'm going to hold control. This uses the shortest path technique, right? So with this selected, we're going to press S to scale in the x-axis 0, and then left click that. We'll pull this to the side slightly. So now we should be able to, there we go. I'm going to select this button to the lower right. Looks like a triangle. Let's go back to object mode. Let's look at this here. Select here. We'll press O to turn on proportional editing. And we'll move that in. We'll left click on nothingness to deselect. I'll go to the upper left to go to object mode. I'll left click on nothingness to deselect. Let's select our body. We'll go to here. We'll select view global / local. Zoom in. I'll select the hand to pan up. We'll go to sculpt mode. I'll hold shift. Smooth this out. Holding the middle mouse button to rotate. Because this is showing me most of this area is covered up, but this is showing, so I'm going to smooth this out some. Okay, I'm gonna go to the upper left, go back to object mode. Select view global / local. Come out of here. I'll left click on nothingness to deselect. I'll select the rendered viewing mode. Well, I want that look div viewing mode. Okay, I'm gonna hold them in the mouse button. Zoom in. I'm gonna select here, press H to hide that. We have this here. I'll go to edit mode, go to vertex select. I'll go to the upper middle part of the screen. Connected only is on. That's good. I'll press C for paint select. Try to select just the end there. Zoom out some. Didn't want to zoom out that much. I'll go to the upper left to the zoom. Just move up. It's also nice for smooth zooms. Press O by accident. Press G. There we go. So I'm using the somehow let's see, this was selected here, so I just press C, the middle mouse button to deselect, press G, so this we can adjust this hair. Came out of object mode to C. So this is the hair here. Select here. Turn that off. C for paint select. I'll press G. Select here. Oh, look at that. Okay, so those are considered one piece. Select here, press G. I'm manipulating the view so I can move out like this way. I'll press G, increase the view. There we go. So I'm trying to get this past this. Trying to have them not intersect, basically. Holding the middle mouse button to rotate. Okay, I'll zoom back in. Go to edit mode. Sometimes the easiest way to do this is I'm going to select this. If they're going to be that much of an issue, I'll press X. Choose faces to delete. Select here. Pull that over there. Press C. G. Move this over here. Select here. There we go. I'll left click to deselect. Go back to object mode. So that's better. If we want, we can also go to scope mode, inflate. Inflate this hair to make it go more together. We can also go back to edit mode. For the length of the hair, press G. So that it's around the length of the other hair. You could also do this to shorten your hair. I left click to deselect. We'll go back to object mode. Okay, so we'll left click to deselect. Okay, we're almost through this tutorial. We're gonna select on the jacket. I'll show you an easy way to put in a seam. So with the jacket selected, I'll go to the upper left. I'll go to edit mode. I'm gonna hold the Alt key, select this edge right here. So I was on vertex select, so I selected all of the edges of vertices. So I'm gonna press C for paint select. Push the middle mouse button to deselect there. Zoom in, select the hand to the upper right. Press C for paint select. See if I can get just this vertex here. Good. I'm going to go to edge select, right? So I have just that edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control, press B to bevel. I'm going to left click. I left click because I wanted this bevel menu to pop up here. See this offset here? I'm going to take this to 2. And then for the segments, I'm going to take this to 1. I'll left click. I'll hold Alt. Select that edge. I'll press C for paint select again. I'll hold shift, press B to draw a zoom box to zoom in right here. Hold shift. I'll press C for paint select. I'll go back to vertex select. Press C for paint select. There we go. Zoom back. With this selected, I'll go back to edge select. What I can do is I can press S, point. I right click to get out of it because I had the proportional editing tool turned on. This is it here. I'll press O to turn that off. Now I'll press S, point 9, and then left click to lock that in. So S.9 is 90%, a 90% scale in. So I'll zoom back. I'll go to the upper left, go to object mode. So now you can see we have like a seam in the jacket there. So I'll just roll the mouse wheel to zoom back. Okay, she has a jacket on, right? Sometimes small details can add a lot to a character. We can add a zipper to this jacket fairly easily, so that's what I would like to show you now. Okay, I'm going to hover here. Actually, before doing that, I'm going to select the jacket. We'll go to edit mode. We're going to go to edge select. We're going to select where we want the zipper to be at. So I'm going to go from, let's go from here. I'm going to hold control and use the shortest path technique to here, right? With that selected, I'm going to hold shift, press D. So I move just so I can see I duplicated that. I'm going to right click, select P to bring up our separate menu, then choose selection to make what we just selected a separate piece of geometry. I'll left click to make sure nothing's selected. I'll go back up to the upper left and then select object mode. I'm going to left click on nothingness to deselect. Okay, I'm going to select the edge. I'm going to take off the mirror modifier. I'm about to press apply all. You could also just select apply. Apply, the effect would generally be the same. I'm going to select apply all. By selecting the edge of the jacket, we're able to keep this shape that goes right along the edge of the jacket. This currently is a mesh, a mesh piece. That's just the edge of the mesh. We want to turn this to a mesh curve. So we're going to select object, convert, and then we're going right here, curve from mesh. Then we'll left click to lock that in. I'm going to left click to deselect. I'm going to hold the mouse button to rotate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift and right click. I did that because I wanted to put the 3D cursor right here in Blender. Where you put the 3D cursor at is where objects tend to come into Blender at. Okay, what we're going to do now is hold shift, press A. This brings up our add to menu. We're going to go to mesh, cube. Here's our cube. We're going to press S to scale on the Z axis. I'm going to press S to scale down to about like that. The size we pretty much want to be something where somebody can see the zipper from a distance. We'll press S to scale on the Y axis like this. I'll press S to scale on the Z axis like that. S to scale on the X axis somewhere. There we go. I like how that is. Okay, what we want to do is select the curve. We're going to go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to Geometry for the curve. Now what we're going to do is select the object. It's going to be our zipper piece. I'm going to name this zipper object. And I'm going to select the curve. I'm going to name this zipper. So left click to deselect. Okay, with that done, we'll select the zipper piece. We're going to add an array modifier here, where you see this 1 right underneath relative offset. Change that to 0. Press enter. You'll go to Z. Change that to 1 instead. And then you can select this arrow to give some space between the two objects there. I'm going to select this triangle here that just makes it look like, most of the time it makes it look like your modifier is applied, even though it's not. Okay, this is very important here. You're going to select your curve, right? You're going to hold Shift S. This brings up your Snap to menu. You're going to choose cursor to selected, right? You're now going to select your zipper object. You're going to hold Shift, press S, and then you're going to choose selection to cursor keep offset, right? So with that done, also with the zipper object selected, you're going to add another modifier, which is curve modifier. For the curve modifier, you're going to look for in the settings where it says object, select that, select zipper. Then you're going to select Z. So here at the bottom, here is your zipper object right along the curve, which is what you want. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the array modifier that's on the zipper object. We're going to the count. So we're on the zipper object. So we're increasing the count. Oops. So I'm just selecting the arrow. The count is going up, making the zipper go up above the, I shouldn't say above. It's going along the curve. Okay, if you push forward slightly, you can make the zipper go back slightly. Also, if you push to the side, you can make the zipper move to the side some. I'm fine with how it is now, so I'm going to go to apply all. Okay, the curve was made along a mirror modifier. That's nice because what we can do is we are still on the modifier stack. We'll select add modifier, select mirror. We'll go to mirror object, select empty. Now we have the zipper going along both sides. I'll then left click to deselect. Okay, we'll select the zipper object. We'll go to shading. We'll go to the upper right, select new. I'll select the hand. We'll take the specular down, the roughness down, the sheen tint down. We'll take the metallic up fairly high. I have mine at 0.755. I like how that looks. I'm going to left click to deselect, go back to the upper left to layout. Okay, I'm going to zoom it back. I'm going to hold Shift, press C. One of the ways you can make very quick teeth is just use a cylinder. So we're going to hold Shift. We're going to press A. We're going to bring in a mesh cylinder. We're going to press S to scale on the Z axis like this. I'll push this out so you can see it. We'll press S to scale like this. Push this down. One of the things that's interesting about teeth is that teeth don't go straight like that. Teeth actually like curve down, so we're going to press R to rotate on the x-axis like that. So what I'm trying to do now is to let you see the bottom of the teeth, but slightly into the mouth. So I like how that is now. Okay, we're looking at the character here in Look Dev view. Suppose you wanted to go to rendered view to see your character. So this is what you see, right? So one of the ways you can deal with this is you can select this light. I'm going to go back to Look Dev view, press X to delete that. There's yet another add-on that's built into Blender. It's the 3-point add-on. You would go to Edit, Preferences, look through your add-ons, put a check mark next to it. I think it's 3-point add-on. If I select the head, I hold Shift, press A, go down to Light, and then select 3-point lights. What you would want to do is select these lights, holding Shift so I can select more than one object at a time. I'm letting go of Shift. And I'm going to press S2, then press Enter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the light, go to the lower right, where this says 1.5. I'm going to take this to 1,500. I'm going to select this light. This says 3,000. I'm going to change this to 1,500 as well. This light here says 1.5. I'm going to change this to 1,500. Press Enter. Then when I go back to, when I left click to deselect, when I go back to here, now we have lighting set up. You can adjust the lighting more. However, that's a fairly quick way to set up your lighting. I'm going to take the hand to move this up. If you want to see your character without any of the grid or any of these things, you can just select the overlays so you can see your character. If your 3 cursors there, you can select, which mine wasn't. So we take a look. So I'm just holding my middle mouse button to rotate the view. Congratulations, you've reached the end of the tutorial. For all of those of you out there who like the videos on this channel and reshare them, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you like the videos on this channel and you would like to see more, please subscribe and thank you for viewing.